Welcome to Plutus IAS. Myself Vikas Gupta, a faculty here for Polity, Economy and PSIR. So we have basically brought a new module for you, that is PT Marathon. In this we will try to look at the previous year question and some relevant questions for prelims purposes. Our focus is prelims, no means content, only prelims focus, so that you can get a comprehensive understanding of exclusively prelims, not an integrated understanding that you have otherwise in classes. If you join the classes here, then you will get both prelims and mains and a broader understanding, including answer writing, thesis and all. That's a different part. Right now the module focus exclusively on prelims content. So we will look at some questions. I will try to make you understand if such kind of question you encounter in your life in recent prelims in May, then how you should tackle them. Okay, that will be my strategy, and please, guidance, it's just a guidance tool and a cautionary warning that I always give in all my lecture, that this is not the fundamental gospel truth. It's just a guidance tool. You have to modify it according to your circumstances. Everyone is different. There is no one truth in the world. There are different truths. You have to accept the truth that you like. Okay, with that note, let us start. I will be particularly taking economics right now, so let's start. So this is the first question that came into the prelims PT Marathon economics that we are having here. In this, a question comes that rapid financing instrument and rapid credit facility are related to the provision of lending by which of the following. So it's a very factual question. इसमें ऐसा नहीं है that you can apply the elimination method that we'll try to use here. In this question, either you know the answer or you don't know the answer. So I would suggest, if such question you encounter in the paper, to do it in the last. Do not do it in the first. If you know the answer, outrightly mark it. If you do not know the answer, don't play the gamble here. In first go, when you are having the paper, mark only the question you know definitely this is the answer. Then in the second go, choose the question where you can eliminate at least two options. जैसे यहाँ पे you have 4 options. If you would be able to eliminate at least 2 options, then you can try this question, but that too only in second attempt. First में only the question you know definitely, second में the question that you know at least 2 options are eliminated, and at last when you have nothing left, then take the absolute risk. And I would suggest do not go to the absolute risk. That is a third stage. If you could achieve 70 to 75 question, including 50 question around or 40 question around with absolute answer and remaining with the guesses, intellectual guesses, not haphazard guesses कि सिक्का उछाला और आंसर मार्क कर दिया, वैसा नहीं करना है हमें. We don't have to do that. Keep that in mind. ठीक है? So in this question, either you know the answer or you don't know the answer. This is that kind of question. So the answer anyway is International Monetary Fund, that you know from the studies of balance of payment. In balance of payment, when you face a crisis, BOP crisis that we call, when the country has more income outgoing than incoming of money, it need more money to finance its imports. जैसे इंडिया के केस में majority of the imports consist of oil, and we want oil and we need forex. Forex माने foreign currency. If you don't have that foreign currency, you have to go to an institution in the world called IMF, and for that it has rapid financing instrument and rapid credit facility. So this is a kind of factual question which you know or don't know. There is no guesswork here. So I would suggest attempt this question in the last. If you don't know the answer, then attempt in the last when no options are left. Otherwise you can attempt easily. Okay? With that, let's move to second question. With reference to Indian economy, consider the following statement. An increase in NEER, nominal effective exchange rate, indicates appreciation of rupee. So from our studies of the classrooms, we know already what is NEER. NEER is nominal effective exchange rate. It is the exchange rate, means the value of domestic currency vis-a-vis a basket of foreign currencies. And a rise in NEER always means appreciation of rupee. So it's a very factual, conceptual statement. We know it's right. Let's suppose आपको नहीं पता. Let's suppose आपको नहीं पता, तो फिर क्या करेंगे? We will look at option. जैसा कोई option है इसमें one is not available, सब में available है, तो भाई ये तो नहीं बने. Elimination we cannot use here. चलो second पे आ जाते हैं फिर. An increase in the real effective exchange rate indicates an improvement in trade competitiveness. So we know REER. REER is nothing but REER adjusted for inflation. Simply stating, REER is NEER adjusted for inflation, that you have REER. REER basically shows if, देखिए दोनों स्टेटमेंट या तो सही होंगी या गलत होंगी. बोथ स्टेटमेंट विल बी राइट और रॉन्ग. एग्जांपल, because an increase in need indicate appreciation of rupee, and appreciation rupee का मतलब होता है when rupee appreciate, for example rupee increases vis-a-vis dollar. मान लेते हैं $1 is equals to में 60 rupees. Now 50 rupees is equals to में 50 rupees is equals to $1. This is called appreciation of rupee. In this scenario, your exports will become costlier, your imports will become cheaper. So basically, this will promote more imports than export scenario. So of course, if you are importing more and exporting less, it means your trade competitiveness is decreasing, not increasing. So basically, या तो both statement will be correct or both statement will be wrong. अगर मैं पहली को सच मान लूं, if I assume that the first statement is absolutely right, or I have never read need or read, मुझे आइडिया ही नहीं है. So if first statement is right, then only the second statement may work. If the first statement which says an increase in nominal effective exchange rate indicate appreciation rupee, अगर appreciation rupee होगा तो trade competitiveness घटेगी, तो इसका मतलब या तो ये सही होगा तो ये गलत होगा, अगर ये सही होगा तो ये गलत होगा. We know this, and let's see, without reading the third statement, let's see क्या answer में we can make this combination. An answer where 1 is present, 2 is not. ये है. Here 1 is present, 2 is not, because I told you either 1 is right और ऐसा कोई आंसर में 2 is present, 1 is not, तो ये है. So now we are hooked at two answers. Either 1 is the C is the answer or B is the answer. Now we will look at the third statement. Third is an increased trend in domestic inflation related to the inflation in other current countries is likely to cause an increased divergence between need and rear. अब ये statement तो सही लग रही है मुझे. क्यों लग रही है? Because I told you what is rear. Rear is need minus inflation, simply stating. So more the inflation means more will be the difference between the rear and the need. Rear adjust need for inflation purposes. Inflation ज़्यादा तो rear में और need में difference ज़्यादा. इसका मतलब third तो absolutely correct है. So again अब हम फंस गए दो आंसर पे, B पे या C पे. So this question you will attempt in stage 2 of your answer writing. In your answer marking stage 2 में you will attempt this question because you are not sure out of these two which is the answer. But from if you have taken the classroom course, then you know that C is the answer. First statement is correct, second statement is wrong. I told you ना, अगर rupees appreciating तो trade competitiveness decrease होगा, increase नहीं होगा. So first correct है तो दूसरा automatically incorrect हो गया, and this question is correct. So answer is 1 and 3. I hope this makes sense. But nonetheless, if you are confused between 2 and 3, B and C, then you will attempt this question because you have already eliminated this and this. You have eliminated 50% of the option. Now you can attempt this question, but not in first stage. In second stage of answer marking. First stage में you will mark only the question you know absolutely. Keep that in mind. अगले पे देखते हैं. Next question is with reference to the Indian economy, consider the following statement. If the inflation is too high, RBI likely to buy government securities. If the inflation is too high, inflation का मतलब we know from our classroom program, inflation basically means when demand is much more than supply. That's inflation. When demand is much more than supply, and the impact of this phenomena is rise in prices or decline in power of money. दोनों मतलब होते हैं. Rise in the prices of commodity or decline in the power of money, both means inflation, and the reason is demand more than supply. So basically, if I want to do away with this thing, I have to reduce inflation. Either price should decrease or the purchasing power of rupee should increase. Reverse होना चाहिए. For that, I should do something जिससे demand क्या हो जाए, कम हो जाए. So first कहता है, if inflation is too high, it means if demand is too high than supply, Reserve Bank of India is likely to buy government securities. If RBI will buy government security, तो obviously बात है, it will infuse money in the market. Money will increase in the market. I will take government securities and I will give you money in return. So there will be more money in the market. More money simply means more demand. So rather than decreasing demand, the first option will increase demand. So wrong statement. If this is wrong, so let's eliminate 1. तो ये भी गया, ये भी गया, ये भी गया. तो B is the answer. That's how, without reading the statement 2 and 3, you can mark B is the answer. दिस इज द एलिमिनेशन एफर्ट। तो ये तो आपका पहली स्टेज में जाएगा, आपको जरूरत ही नहीं, यू डू नॉट हैव टू रीड दिस एंड दिस स्टेटमेंट, यू कैन मार्क आंसर जस्ट बाय नोइंग वन स्टेटमेंट राइट। दिस इज एलिमिनेशन एंड मेजॉरिटी ऑफ द क्वेश्चन इन पेपर दैट मार्क्स, दैट स्टूडेंट मार्क्स, स्पेशली इवन द टॉपर्स, दिस क्वेश्चन आर यूजुअली ऑफ दिस नेचर। ठीक है, नेक्स्ट, with reference to G20 common framework consider following statement। अब this is a question from current events, ये क्वेश्चन इकोनॉमिक्स का तो है लेकिन ये करंट इवेंट से है। इकोनॉमिक्स में फ्यू थिंग्स है, हैव टू कीप इन माइंड। पहला, कंसेप्ट शुड बी क्लियर, जिससे पहला वाला क्वेश्चन था दैट इज लिंकिंग ऑफ कॉन्सेप्ट, इन्फ्लेशन, गवर्नमेंट सिक्योरिटी बाइंग, पुशिंग, ओपन मार्केट ऑपरेशन, दैट वाज अ लिंकेज ऑफ वेरियस कॉन्सेप्ट। This question is from current event. If current event में new concept come, new treaty come, new idea come, you must know that idea, what is the component of that idea. So it's a direct question from current event. It is an initiative endorsed by G20, नाम में G20 तो G20 तो होगा ही होगा, together with Paris Club, पहली चीज। Second thing, it is an initiative to support low income countries with unsustainable debt. It's a direct question for current event because 2020s में what we were witnessing? We were witnessing high inflation. And why we were witnessing high inflation? Not because of demand, but because of supply constraint. Corona था, Corona में lockdown were imposed, supply chain was completely shattered, and countries were facing it hard to repay their loans. That is what we call unsustainable debt. Countries were finding it very hard to pay back their debt. For that purpose, the G20 evolved the G20 common framework. So both statements are correct. So this is the question you cannot guess. ये एक ऐसा क्वेश्चन है जिसे आप गैस नहीं कर सकते हैं। इससे पहले वाला क्वेश्चन था, उसमें आपको यू जस्ट नीड टू नो वन स्टेटमेंट विच यू कैन फ्रॉम अ क्लासरूम प्रोग्राम एंड आंसर इज डन। दिस इज अ क्वेश्चन ऑफ एक्स्ट्रा एफर्ट्स which is your efforts. You would have read current event and you in that you would have read G20 common framework. तो दिस क्वेश्चन, इसमें गैसिंग नहीं है बहुत ज्यादा, इसमें अल्टीमेट आंसर यू इधर यू नो और यू डोंट नो। लेट्स मूव टू नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन। विद रेफरेंस टू इंडिया इंडियन इकोनॉमी, व्हाट आर द एडवांटेजेस ऑफ इन्फ्लेशन इंडेक्स बॉन्ड? नाम से ही समझ में आ रहा है हमारा, इन्फ्लेशन इंडेक्स बॉन्ड। दिस यू मस्ट हैव डन इन फाइनेंशियल सेक्टर इन इकोनॉमिक्स प्रॉपर चैप्टर। Basically, bonds are a promise of loan. For example, the rupee in your pocket, the rupee note in your pocket is a kind of bond. उसमें लिखा होता है गवर्नर के द्वारा, I promise to pay the bearer this much of rupee, governor sign. So it's a kind of promise of loan by RBI. You have given a loan to RBI by having that note. That's the conceptual foundation here. So bond is a kind of promise of debt. Inflation index माने a bond in which money will be repaid as per the inflation. That you must keep in mind. Let's see कोई आंसर can be match or not. पहला देखते हैं, गवर्नमेंट कैन रिड्यूस द कूपन रेट। कूपन रेट का मतलब होता है इंटरेस्ट रेट। गवर्नमेंट कैन रिड्यूस द कूपन रेट ऑन इट्स बोरोइंग बाय वे ऑफ IIBs। अब मान लेते हैं, लेट्स सपोज आई एम फाइंडिंग इट हार्ड टू अंडरस्टैंड, चलो ठीक है, थोड़ी देर में देखेंगे इस स्टेटमेंट को, लेट्स लीव इट। सेकंड स्टेटमेंट, IIBs प्रोवाइड प्रोटेक्शन टू द इन्वेस्टर फ्रॉम अनसर्टेनिटी रिगार्डिंग इन्फ्लेशन। ये तो बिल्कुल सही पॉइंट है, नाम से पता लगा, यहाँ लिखा ही है ये बात। इन्फ्लेशन इंडेक्स बॉन्ड, दैट इज बॉन्ड adjusted for inflation, तो obviously बात है, they will protect the investor. From name you can drive this statement, fine. पहली, I have no idea, say for example. Second, I have idea. And now the third, the interest rate received as well as the capital gain on IIB are not taxable. अब एक चीज नोटिस कीजिए, not taxable, it's about bond. Bond means it is some government provide tax benefits for the common people, for the low investors. Bond shares, these are for the rich investors. तो ऐसा हो ही नहीं सकता कि वो टैक्सेबल ना हो। कॉमन सेंस लगाइए, इवन इफ यू डू नॉट नो द स्टेटमेंट, कॉमन सेंस को अप्लाई करके आप बता सकते हैं कि नॉन टैक्सेबल कैसे हो सकता है। इफ फॉर एग्जाम्पल यहाँ लिखा होता स्मॉल सेविंग सर्टिफिकेट, अ सर्टिफिकेट फॉर स्मॉल सेविंग, मान लेते हैं रिक्शा पुलर की 100 रुपये 200 रुपये की सेविंग, तो उसमें तो कॉमन सेंस बनता है, गवर्नमेंट विल नॉट बी इम्पोजिंग टैक्सेस बिकॉज कॉमन पीपल है, पुअर पीपल दे नीड टू सेव मोर, तो कॉमन सेंस बन जाएगा। लेकिन बट इफ इट इज अबाउट बॉन्ड, दैट इज इन्फ्लेशन इंडेक्स बॉन्ड, इट इज फॉर बिग इन्वेस्टमेंट काइंड ऑफ थिंग, मिडिल क्लास एंड अपर क्लास इन्वेस्टमेंट, तो ऑफकोर्स टैक्सेबल होगी। तो इसका मतलब ये तो क्लियर है कि ये गलत है, थर्ड इज रॉन्ग, सेकेंड इज राइट। फर्स्ट का लेट सपोज मुझे आइडिया नहीं, so can I make any answer out of it? Any question, any answer in which third is not present, two is present? A। देखिए यहाँ भी 3 है, 3 है, 3 है, इट मीन्स ऑल 3 आर रॉन्ग, दिस इज राइट। तो इसका मतलब ये भी सही थी। तो विदाउट नोइंग द स्टेटमेंट 1 आई कैन मार्क द राइट आंसर। दिस इज द पावर ऑफ एलिमिनेशन एंड दैट्स हाउ यू प्ले इन मोस्ट ऑफ द क्वेश्चंस। ठीक है, आई होप इट्स करेक्ट। Let's move to next question. With reference to foreign owned e-commerce firms, e-commerce like Amazon, Flipkart, foreign owned, जैसे Amazon is a foreign owned, operating in India, which of the following statement is correct? अब देखिए, this is something you can know when you know the policies of government of India. For e-commerce, government of India has e-commerce policy. If you would have read that, then only you can know. ठीक है, otherwise it's not something you can guess. ये concept based नहीं है properly, you cannot guess it. It's just like the question G20 common framework. If you have read it, then you can predict it. Otherwise, it's hard to predict. They can sell their own goods in addition to offering their platform as marketplace. If you have read the e-commerce policy, वहाँ पे साफ लिखा हुआ है that all e-commerce platforms shall be marketplaces only. It means they cannot sell their goods. It means this is a wrong statement. Second, the degree to which they can own big seller on their platform is limited. If you have read the policy में साफ अक्षरों में लिखा हुआ है that there is limitation to big owner. Reason being, because if from one owner you will sell everything, that owner will get richer, richer and richer. Amazon has better access to customers. Every phone has Amazon. But rather, if you go to buy something to a shopkeeper, तो उसके लिए you have to go there. And nobody prefers that nowadays, खासकर this young generation. So if you have read the statement, you know that this statement is right. So answer is B. So this is the kind of question you cannot predict the answer. If you know the answer, then only can you have some playground. Otherwise, it's something you should not do. If you don't know the answer, do not take unnecessary risk. Leave the risk for third stage. When after second stage you find you have not done at least 70 to 75 question, then you can think, by now I have to take risk. Otherwise the attempt would be lost. ठीक है, keep that in mind. Let's see the next question. Which of the following activities constitute the real sector of the economy? Real. So real sector means the sector subtracting. Real sector means the sectors of household subtracting the financial activities. Sectors subtracting the financial activities. So let's see the answer. Farmer harvesting their crop. Let's suppose मुझे आइडिया नहीं इसका, चलो ठीक है देख लेते हैं. Textile mills converting raw material to cotton fabric. Again मुझे आइडिया नहीं. Let's suppose a commercial bank lending money to the trading company. और अभी मैंने बोला रियल सेक्टर माने द सेक्टर ऑफ इकोनॉमी माइनस फाइनेंशियल एक्टिविटी. तो ये तो फाइनेंशियल एक्टिविटी, तो ये तो है ही नहीं पक्का. आई नो दिस. नाउ लेट मी सी, बिफोर रीडिंग दिस स्टेटमेंट लेट मी सी कोई बनता है क्या एनी आंसर जिसमें थर्ड नहीं हो. तो देखिए इसमें थर्ड है, इसमें थर्ड है, इसमें थर्ड है, इसका मतलब ये तीनों गलत है. इसका मतलब ए इज द राइट आंसर. So only by knowing one statement in the entire question, I can mark an absolutely right answer. Again, elimination we applied. Next question, let us look. Which of the following situation best reflect indirect transfers? We know from our classroom program that there are two kinds of transfer, direct and indirect. Direct transfer माने when you purchase this pen, I gave you this pen. It's a direct transfer. But indirect transfer माने when you purchase this pen, I did not give you this pen. I gave you a receipt of this pen. ये पेन कहीं पे गड़ा हुआ है. This pen is hooked somewhere. I just gave you a receipt, and you become the owner of this pen. This pen never moves this place. It is fixed there. But you become the owner of this pen. Rather than me, you become the owner. Asset is not moving anywhere. That is called indirect transfer. Actually, it has come because it was a lot in news because of Vodafone case. The Vodafone case, which is a very popular case, in which the Hutch was acquired by Vodafone. The ownership was transferred, but all the resources were in India only. That's a prime case of indirect transfers. In this, you have various statement. Already, I told you indirect transfer money where there is no real transfer of commodity, only the ownership. A foreign company transfers shares, and such share drive their substantial value from asset located in India. So, of course, ये right है. बात क्लियर हुई? So this is what we have. So these are some questions which are very small questions. I was trying to explain you how to attempt paper. ये क्वेश्चन दोबारा नहीं पूछे जाएंगे, तो don't worry. You do not need to know these answers, but you need to know how to attempt question. So few key rule we derive from these question is, पहला, you can go answer marking in 3 stages. Stage 1, you know the answer, mark it right now. Stage 2, wait for it. In second reading, you will mark that. Third stage mein a question which you have no idea about, you cannot guess anything. First stage is done. In second stage, if you can eliminate at least 2 options, then you will mark the answer. And ultimately, third stage mein you have to take the risk, very high risk, only when you are unable to at least mark 70 to 75 answers. Okay, this is my guidance for you. I hope it will help you in your prelims this year. Have a nice day.